Life, that is the digital asset space. Good evening. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy generational wealth Wednesday, I should say. Hope you guys are having an absolutely outstanding evening. Generational Wealth Wednesday. We're going to talk about a mentor. We're going to talk about who, being very, very selective in who you choose to have as a mentor. And it's funny because I just thought about doing the stream today, or the session today, the episode today, about the mentors, because I found it very, very interesting. Someone had been watching on YouTube, and they were discussing something, very, very near and dear to my heart. And some I guess unconventional thinking on a principle that I think that is really sound in its foundation for principles. So I thought it was interesting that there was a difference in philosophies. Interesting. So so we're going to talk about that a little bit. Thank you, TJ Jackson. I appreciate that, bro. And we're going to talk about it a little bit because it's so really, really important to it's you got to be careful who you listen to, and you have to be open to you have to be willing to get information from different places so that you can apply the principle of discernment, your own discernment, and then choose what you think is best. Very, very interesting that I saw that. And so I'm going to share someone who I've been listening to, someone who I've been following and learning about, one of our sound savings instruments. Right. So, on this channel, we have the generational wealth strategy, and that is generational wealth equals digital assets plus sound saving instruments multiplied by a cash flow business. And I was, so I came across again this channel, and I'd seen this channel before. And, it's funny too, because they've grown their channel quite a bit since I started watching them about 3 months ago. They went from 4,000, I got 14,000 subscribers now. Very, very interesting. So we're going to go over that, I guess, and see, it doesn't mean that they're wrong, and that the people that I listen to and have chosen to study under, if you will, are right. It doesn't mean that. Is there a chance that the time today is different than it was in the 80s? And because it's different, maybe the strategy should be different? I don't know. We're going to talk about that. For me, from my research, the foundations of the dividend paying whole life insurance policy and the foundation for implementing the infinite banking concept is the foundation, right? And so principles, right? So principles, philosophies are old, right? They're old. So they don't change. Strategies, techniques change, but principles are old, right? My mentor used to say to me, take caution when someone would approach you and say, "Hey, look, come check out my company. We're building and creating antiques, right? We got this thing over here, and it makes antiques." You would be a little hesitant, right, to listen to someone who says they're manufacturing an antique, right? Because antiques are what? Antiques are old, right? Antiques are old. So we're going to check into it a little bit, and we'll check it out together, because I was surprised, I guess, a little bit, because I have been watching the guy I've kind of learning and studying under, and when he gets together with my guy and they talk on a podcast, they're kind of subtly mentioning different places and different YouTube channels that are promoting doing things a different kind of way. So interesting. But I do think that it's important not to rush and say this person is right or this one is wrong. What I think is most important is to take in both sides, or even if it's three sides, and learn And then again, you apply the principle of discernment, but you won't be able to apply that discipline, right? That principle of discernment, if you don't have enough of your own fundamental foundational knowledge for this guy to make sense, and this guy to make sense, and this guy to not make sense. If you don't have your foundation, right, you got to have a foundation of, maybe entry level knowledge, maybe a little bit more, a little higher, maybe mid-level knowledge. So now you can take in this person, taking this person, and taking this person, and say, you know what, this kind of seems like they're out of the box a little bit, doing their own thing. So that's kind of the deal there. That's why I say mentor. I think it's really, really important that everyone has their sound saving instruments. On this channel, we talk about the Celsius network, and we talk about dividend paying whole life insurance as the sound savings instruments. But most importantly, how you use it is the foundational thing. And, I'm a student, I'm learning, right? I've been studying a little bit, read 3, 4, 5 books, watched, I don't know how many YouTube videos. If not 100, I'm sure I would be shocked if I didn't watch 100. And, based upon that, I decided to go in with a certain company to get it done and get it set up. And looking forward to the actual date of it being active. I'm still having to do the preliminary stuff, right? So I still got a medical exam to do, and they couldn't get to me any sooner than July, which kind of, I wasn't happy about that, but hey, this is the way it is. So, but yeah, so I'm going to share my journey with you. But again, when I was listening to this particular couple, and I'm going to share who they are and all the different stuff like that. So you guys, not for you, I'm sharing the different places so that you can, if something that you're interested in, you can begin to learn, and you can decipher, right? Once you get your foundation, you can weed out the noise, if you will. And, and kind of go from there. So that's what I decided to do. I'm going to tell you the books. And here's a really interesting thing too, because the 3 books that I have here, I think it's really, really important. We're talking 3 different age groups, right? Talking about the same principle. 3 different age groups talking about the same principles. Now, the creator of this particular concept, if you will, is by this guy here, R. Nelson Nash, and it's Becoming Your Own Banker. This is the 5th edition of this book, but this is the guy who discovered this particular concept, not the policy, not the insurance that had been around for years, hundreds of years, a couple hundred years. But he discovered the concept and how to take advantage and leverage it. R. Nelson Nash, right? So this is the guy, older guy. He's passed away, I think, in 2019. And then you got the guy who's kind of in this, I would say mid 40s, right? Mid 40s. Did you get my text? Who let the bulls out? What's going on, brother? Did you get that text? This person is like in the mid 40s. Again, same concept. What would the Rockefellers do? This is R. Garrett Gunderson, right? R. Garrett Gunderson. Good book. Great book. Right? But mid 40s. And then this guy is early 20s. Early 20s. I have not read this one. Early 20s. I did talk with someone from his team. And this is called The And Asset. And this is by Caleb Guilliams, like Williams, but Guilliams. That is Guilliams. The And Asset. Now, this guy, interestingly enough, is these 2 guys and their teams, if you will. This guy passed away, remember, but they know each other. They attend the kind of same stuff. So this guy attends the stuff that these people, the trainings, the seminars, the webinars. This guy attends those. So 3 different books, 3 different age groups. And I did, and text you back. Oh, you did? Okay. Cool. I'll look for that. And you're welcome, bro. You're welcome. Thank you. So interesting things. So those are some books for you to kind of check out and learn and kind of catch the different mindsets. Garrett Gunderson is all over YouTube, all over. Um, so, and this is how, what got me back into learning or wanting to learn more about what I already knew like 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I discovered that concept from this guy. Like 2 years ago. It's the same thing. They just got a different name because they're a publishing group that like to change names to sell the same stuff. Okay. And I had learned it from this guy, very successful, entrepreneur and that type of deal there. So in any case, let's share some stuff. I'm not really trying to call anyone out. I'm just trying to understand and just kind of turn you on to some stuff. Hey, Spanish Fly, what's going on, man? It's good to see you in the stream. GDLT is in the building. I thought you were live, my friend. That must have been a recording. When you talking about Stefan Thomas and Coil? Good to see you on the stream, man. Good to see you. Ben Hatchett, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. XRP is not a security. Yeah, I saw that Forbes article. I tell you, a better read, Ben, is the actual article from Mr. Giancarlo and a guy named Conrad. I cannot pronounce his last name. That's a better read, though. Did you check that one out, Ben? For Sale is in the house. How are you, For Sale? Good to see you, man. John Phillip II's here. What's up? Thank you, who the bullseye. I appreciate. Lucky Lloyd is here. You have to learn every day because information is fluid. That's a great point, Lucky Lloyd. That is a great point. You have to learn every day because information is very, very fluid. But principles, my friend, the principles, right? Principles are old. They never change. Philosophies, right? Those are old. They never change, right? Techniques, strategies, those change. But philosophies, they never change. In any concept, there are philosophies to it. And with this particular product, which is a dividend-paying whole life insurance policy, the concept is most important. Understanding how it works and why it works is the most important part, for sure. For sure. Become water. Maybe sober. That's exactly right. Is Alex Jeet in the building? 416 Crypto is here. Alex Jeet is here. What's going on, guys? Good to see you tonight. So let's do this. I am going to listen. I can't share that, so I might as well just get rid of these things. Get rid of these things so I can open up some other tabs, and let's see what else I cannot share. What I can share with you guys. All right, get rid of some tabs. All right, so 2 YouTube channels to consider if that's something. If a dividend-paying whole life insurance policy is something that you're interested in learning about and looking into, I'm gonna give you some channels to check out and learn about them. Let's do this. All right, so let me get rid of some of this stuff here because it is not working. Hold on 1 second, guys. Oh, it's already in there. Okay, never mind. Close that. These things I can definitely get rid of. All right. All right. All right. So let's do this. Let's go over here. Banking with Life. There it is. All right. Banking with Life. This YouTube channel is called Banking with Life, and it's a channel and a podcast. I just want Banking with Life. Maybe it's under his name. Sorry, guys, my computer is slow. Oh. Okay, so there it is there. Let me share that with you guys. Let's share. So there's the guy right there. His name is James Nethery. James Nethery. And the podcast is Banking with Life. Banking with Life. And it's on YouTube, and they probably stream it on the normal podcast. Definitely would check this out if that's something that you're interested in. Okay. The other channel that seems to be, because one of the comments I thought was pretty interesting. I don't care what anyone else says. That made me think, they have a difference in philosophy, right? They have a difference in philosophy. Hey, baby. Hi. Love you. So Wealth Nation is the other one. Wealth Nation. Wealth Nation is the other one. So let's go over to that one. And again, I think it's Wealth Nation. Just something for you guys to kind of look into if you want to learn more about it. Wealth Nation. See if they come up. Wow, this thing is something else. What is going on? All right, so there's the other one. I'll share that with you guys too. Wealth Nation on YouTube. So there it is there. I want to be fair. Share both channels. Own Your Own Lifestyle, the place for infinite banking and personal finance. New videos every Monday and Thursday. 52 ways to OYOL. Own Your Own Lifestyle. So they're doing their thing. They're upping their marketing game. You can see that for sure. Upping their marketing game. Taking on clients. Because I was watching them before, this thing here, watching the channel, seeing it, checking out different stuff. So they've added a bunch of different new thumbnails, and they probably got someone doing some marketing stuff. We paid off a policy loan. Yeah, okay. So there that is there. Sharp young couple. Again, definitely do your diligence, check them out, see if it resonates with you. Then there's James Nethery's channel. And then there's one more. And then I'm going to share with you. And I think that this one is probably, again, this is Garrett Gunderson. He's in the 40s, right? So you got this couple seem like they're a little bit younger than Garrett Gunderson. Well, yeah, a little bit younger. They're probably in their 30s, it looked like. And you got Garrett Gunderson, I believe he's the older. And then you got James Nethery, Banking with Life on YouTube. James Nethery, Banking with Life. Now, James and Ryan Griggs, who they do the podcast together, they learned directly from R. Nelson Nash, the creator or the inventor, the creator, the guy who stumbled upon and kind of put this philosophy together. They learned directly from him. Ryan Griggs and James Nethery, Banking with Life podcast. Okay. Have to check out James Nethery. Yep. Definitely want to do that. That's where I watched the most for sale. The most of my learning came from that channel and his videos, his podcasts, videos, and from Ryan Griggs' blog. He actually has a thing on Medium as well. So that's where, again, careful who you choose as mentors, right? Now, I've had a mentor for a very, very, very long time in my life. Always had a mentor in my life. And who are you apologizing to, Gold Steve? No need to apologize to me if that's who you're apologizing to, bro. Everything is all good here, my friends. My friend, where's Lucky Lloyd's comment? So, guys, definitely check those channels out. Choose your mentors wisely. Again, I've had a mentor that was 18 and 19 years old. Learned early on about the principle of discernment. I learned early on that how important it was to have a mentor, to be able to study from someone who was successful in one of the things that you want out of life, not just material stuff, but life, successful life, right? For me, it was important to mentor from someone who was a successful dad, who was a successful husband, right? And a successful business person. For me, those things were important. So I learned about that early on. But he always sent me in a direction of learning. So I was always constantly reading books and listening to CDs. And back then they were tapes, learning from different people. The same concept of learning from different people so that I could, because they'll have a different way of sharing something. And so I could kind of learn and what is the word? Fine tune my principles of discernment. So Garrett Gunderson's channel is called Wealth Factory. Wealth Factory on YouTube. Wealth Factory. Let's see if we can't find that one. Yeah, experience is the greatest teacher. Without question, is what's even better is someone else's experience, right? And what did you think for sale about Wealth Nation's channel? Crypto Insomniac says, I chose you. Well, thank you, Crypto Insomniac. I appreciate that. CBD, somebody said, what's going on? See, that's the best way to learn in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely. So Gary Gunderson's channel is Wealth Factory. Let's see if we can't find that. So Wealth Labs or Wealth Factory. I get his and Caleb's thing messed up. Let me put Garrett Gunderson in here. Garrett, Gunderson. And Garrett calls it cash flow banking. Let's see if we can't pull it. Is it Wealth Labs or Wealth Factory? I forget. It's Wealth Labs. Wealth Labs. There you go. What is cash flow banking? And then he's got another one you can see. Oh, did I share? Jeez, let me share. Right, so there it is there, right? Cash flow banking explained. Wealth Labs podcast with Garrett Gunderson. What to do with the cash flow and your banking policy. Whole life insurance instead of the stock market. interesting guy. He's got it right. Wrote a bestseller. Wrote a couple. He wrote "What Would the Rockefellers Do." So, and this guy, I got to tell you, very, 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 very knowledgeable in a lot of different areas financially. And he has a really good understanding of these dividend paying whole life insurance policy and how it works. I was just about set to go with them and what they do, but ultimately I said, for my first policy, I think I want to go with the people who learn from the guy, so I can learn as much as I can from them because they learned from him. So that's kind of when I felt like James and his team, I would get more of a hands-on and just wanting to share the principle versus wanting to sell the policy. So for me, ultimately, I wanted to hook up with someone who was wanting to share and teach the concept and not just wanting to sell the policy, if that makes sense to you, if you understand what I'm saying. So that's what I did. So guys, those are 3 right there that you want to check out. Yeah. And that's not a bad thing for sale. Young is not a bad deal, right? Because you could be young and still have wealth and knowledge. Like that Caleb guy, he doesn't have a YouTube channel, but Caleb Gunyon, I mean, he's early 20s, teaching this concept, excited about it. I just don't know if he's staying true to the foundations of the concept. But yeah, nothing is wrong with being young. Absolutely. So Ryan Griggs is a young guy. So he's probably younger than both of the Wealth Nation people. In fact, he is younger than both of the Wealth Nation people. He's a young guy. Now, Ryan Giggs, the other guy there in that podcast, Ryan Griggs, the other guy in that podcast, he was in PhD course in economics, Austrian economics, and I found this story to be really, really interesting. And I was I don't want to say enamored, but I was really happy with this, passionate for teaching the concept and not selling the policy. That was the game changer for me. I think that, PhD, he was in the course for PhD for Austrian economics, and decided to leave the program, whatever the PhD is, then, going through that. And he wanted to really dive deep into this particular concept, which I thought was interesting, and build a career and build a business around it. We're talking about a guy, in a PhD program for Austrian economics. And I thought it was interesting because R. Nelson Nash actually studied Austrian economics for 50 years. 50 years. Yeah. So, which I thought was interesting. So there you go. I agree with you, Siege. You learn a lot again. Right. Yeah. And that's the thing. So those are the 3 guys. If that's something that you're interested in learning about, that's a good way to get a good sense of what it is and kind of choose it. And again, it's really, really important who your mentors are, who you're learning from. Again, it's not really a right or wrong. It's what's right for you. What's the thing that's kind of right for you? For me, principles, foundational principles, and abiding by those things make the most sense for me. They've always made the most sense to me. And so when I decided to go with Brian, that was what it was about for me. And I didn't want to go elsewhere because I wanted to start the first one. Let me get the foundation and let me be taught these foundational principles, in this policy for 3, 4, 5 years, learning it, wrapping my brain around it. And you know what? Maybe, some of the things that Wealth Nation will make sense. Right now, I can't say that, but I can't say that it's wrong. What I can say is that it doesn't sound like it makes sense to me. Yeah, so I'm interested in having them on the channel and having definitely we'll have Ryan and James on the channel for sure. What is it freezing up? Definitely will have them on the channel as well. So, like, who's your mentors? Choose your mentors wisely. It's really, really, really important. So it's good to see that some people know about Wealth Nation. Anybody here ever heard of James Nethery and Banking with Life? Anybody? What's up, Crypto Biggest Deuce? Good to see you in the stream, my friend. Anybody heard of James Nethery and Banking with Life podcast or Banking with Life on YouTube? Catherine Parson, how are you, miss? Good to see you. XRP is now the CIA, and that's a good thing. Yeah, do me a favor, guys. If you haven't already, smash that like and hit the subscribe button. We're on our way to 5,000 subs for sure. For sale says have not. You have not. That's what I was just saying too, Crypto Biggest Douche. I saw GDLT doing something on the stream talking about Stefan Thomas. No Siege, not have just did for Ripple Bobby. How are you doing, Ripple Bobby? Yeah, so guys, so Ripple Bobby, on this channel, we do something. We have a generational wealth formula, and that is generational wealth equals digital assets plus sound saving instruments like the Celsius network and dividend paying whole life insurance multiplied by a cash flow business. And I was, thank you, Dubian, too. I was just listening to Wealth Nation, and they said, you know what, I am going to, and I heard something, I don't know, it was like an alarm kind of went off. And I said, yeah, you know, that's interesting because they're doing their thing, signing up clients, growing their channel, and in a different way. I can't say it's right or wrong, but it's different than what James Nethery and Ryan Griggs, who learned from the guy who created the infinite banking concept. It's different. And the structure of the policy and the philosophy behind it, it's different. And so I thought, wow, isn't that interesting? So there's going to be a group of people learning a different way to do something. And I'm curious, is there, I don't know if there's a right or wrong, but I do know that there are fundamental foundational principles to the concept. So interesting to see. It was a live stream that they were doing, tons of questions. They were answering a bunch of questions. And I think that there was a confliction on the base policy and the paid up additions and how you build your cash flow, which one is the actual one that builds the cash flow. And then I heard the comment, I don't care what you say, this is how it is. That says ding, 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 alarm, alarm, alarm. There's a difference in philosophies there, right? That's what that said to me. Soon as she said that, I don't care what you say, this is how it is. It's more of the cash value comes from the base policy is what she was saying versus the paid up additions. So in any case, I thought, why not talk about mentors, right? And be careful on who you're listening to. And the thing that I think is important is because in everything that we do, if we don't get that principle of discernment down and how to weed out the noise, how to right, you have to. My mentor used to say, find a good station, tune in, and stay for a while. Right? Find a good station, tune in, and stay for a while. Right? Because when you do that, when you turn to a different channel, you'll know. Right? So Interesting. And I think what I'm going to do is um, I don't know, tune into them, check out some other stuff, but interesting, different things. So find yourself a mentor, read. Definitely, anybody need the name of those books? Again, if you need me to put them in the chat, definitely do it. Don't you think it's interesting? I found it very fascinating. You know, a guy who's just passed away in his late 80s, and you got a guy in his 40s, and talking about the books, and then you got a guy in the 20s. Yeah. All talking about the same concept. Curious to see, but a difference in the how it's all laid out. So that gives you a good perspective, right? Because again, just because the guy's young, this Caleb guy is in his 20s, early 20s, doesn't mean he's wrong. But it'd be interesting to see where he's thinking where he is and his mindset. This is the only one I have not read. I've read all the other ones. Doug Simpson, excuse me, Doug. Good to see you here, my friend. First time here. Well, I appreciate you being here, Doug. Good to see you in the stream. And I'm glad you got a chance to check out Wealth Wednesdays, my friend. We do these every single Wednesday, Doug, at 7 p.m. Eastern time, Generational Wealth Wednesday. Well, we talk, one of the things that we say on the channel is don't tell me about your exit strategy. Tell me about your wealth strategy. And we talk generational wealth strategies, how to protect your wealth. We talk about how you put together a wealth team, right? So what's the private investment banker look like? What does a wealth advisor look like? Are they one and the same, right? Do you have a CPA? Do you have an attorney, tax attorney? Do you have an estate planner, right? What are the questions that you ask, right? We read books together like The Strangers in Paradise by Jason Grubman and Killing Sacred Cow by Garrett Gunderson. And we learn a lot of these things. We learn them together, Doug. So appreciate you being here, my friend. First time here, awesome. Do your own research. XRP is the only thing I've held for 2 years. Nice. You've been in the space for a bit, and continue to modestly add for position. $100 can change your life. It absolutely can. Again, do your own research, but do it quick. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this channel is primarily dedicated, Doug, to the digital asset XRP. We do talk about other assets, other digital assets from time to time, but primarily we talk XRP and what's going on with the fintech behemoth giant that it is, and Ripple Labs. Yeah, guys, welcome Doug to the channel for sure. Appreciate you being here, Doug. So Rod, what's going on, Rod? Good to see you, man. So that's the deal. Don't touch it, come back and observe everything you're hearing. Exactly. Yeah. MC, did I miss anything? So guys, yeah, if that's something that you're interested in, if that's something that you're looking to add to your sound saving instrument, the dividend paying whole life insurance, then you want to do your homework on it. You definitely want to do your homework on it. I think the concept is quite honestly going to create a movement beyond movement. I think me personally, I think it's going to become the pillar in the traditional space. I really, really do. I think so much that it's going to become that I'm learning and I'm continuing to learn, because I believe that from a fundamental financial perspective, it's just one of the soundest principles that you can get down, one of the soundest tools, if you will, you can have in your tool belt. And I think it is going to create a movement because it embodies a lot of the fundamental attributes I think that you need to become successful. And that is discipline, a certain level of delayed gratification, understanding the power of interest, understanding compounding interest and how it plays into your life, but understanding financing, I should say, and understanding compound interest. It's funny when I said to a group of people, we're going to talk about something that I think it could change your life forever, and it's dividend paying whole life insurance. right? Dividend paying whole life insurance. And I said, now tell me, when I said that, what were the first two words that came to your mind? What's the first two words that came to your mind? I said, look, we're going to talk about something that is life changing. It's life changing. I mean, it could change your life in generations to come. And it's dividend paying whole life insurance. And then I asked them, so now tell me, what's the first two words that came to your mind? And I would ask you guys the same thing. What's the first two things that came to your mind when I said this is life changing and it can change your life generationally? Generationally. What was the first two? When I said dividend paying whole life insurance, what's the first? Be honest with yourself. What was the first two words that came to your mind? Thank you, Rod. I appreciate that, my friend. And it's a pleasure to do it, bro. You're one of my mentors when it comes to crypto. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you, Rod. I appreciate that, my friend. Anybody? Anybody? Will said my kids. Cool. My kids and grandkids. Cool. So when I say, okay, that's interesting. Barney Rubble said freedom. Gotcha. Gotcha. And when I did this the first time, most people said whole life insurance or insurance or whole, that kind of stuff. But very, very, very 1 out of 10, if 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10, if 1 out of 10 said dividend paying. I saw for sale said that, said dividend paying. Barney Rubble, freedom. Very nice. So freedom you got from dividend paying whole life insurance. I love that. And I love that you got Will XRP, got my kids and grandkids. Cryptic Life is in the building. What's going on, Cryptic Life? Well, glad you could be here, bro. You got to do what you got to do. Understand that for sure. I love that. My man, how's everything? Life is great, bro. Haven't been able to catch the streams lately due to work. I'm back. Well, I appreciate you checking in. Wealth Wednesday of all times to come back. You picked a good one. We're talking about mentors and being careful in choosing your mentors. You know what I mean? Be careful in choosing your mentors. And I was sharing on the channel that I came across someone, a channel that was teaching kind of a different, putting a twist to something that I believe personally is a foundational concept in how you use your dividend paying whole life insurance policy. But I can't say that it's wrong. I can say that I feel like that it's fun. They're changing the fundamentals of it. It feels like, but I can't say that it's wrong because I'm learning it myself. I am learning it myself. And who knows, perhaps there's a way, perhaps what they're doing is something that is wealth sooner than later versus what I'm learning from Ryan Griggs and James Nethery is certainly later and having access to your cash now. So it's an interesting thing. Interesting thing. So we shall definitely see. So we shall see. So remember those 3 channels. Anybody need the name of those books? Let me know. I haven't seen Win Mullet in a while. What's going on with Win Mullet? What's Win Mullet been up to? I haven't seen him in a long while. So there it is, guys. The generational wealth formula for this channel. Generational wealth equals digital assets plus sound saving instruments like the Celsius network and dividend paying whole life insurance, sound saving instruments multiplied by a cash flow business. And the reason why the cash flow business is the multiplier in my opinion, is because it's the thing that you have the most control over in terms of income. You have the most control over it, right? In the Celsius network, for example, when the Celsius network team gets together and says, we're going to give 6% interest on stable coins, that's what you're getting, right? You don't have a say, you don't have control, right? There's no say in that, right? In the dividend paying whole life insurance, right? When the life insurance company says they're paying 2% dividends this year, that's what you get. If they're going to pay 3%, that's what you get. If they're going to pay 4%, which is what they normally average 4% plus, that's what you get. But you don't have control over that. When you're taking money and putting it into something, right? Then the only way to increase that income is by your own effort. So if you can increase your income, you have more control over your sound saving instrument. So you need something that's the multiplier, right? And so let's say, I want to do $1,000 a month on Celsius. I want to put 1,000 in there each month. Okay. And you're going to get 6%. You can't control 6%, but you can control that 1,000 to 1,500, right? A cash flow business allows you to change that, right? So it multiplies the benefits that you get from being on the Celsius network and taking advantage of what they offer on the platform. So that's why I like the cash flow business as the multiplier. In my humble opinion, I'm not talking about to make money, right? I'm talking about for generational wealth. You need all three of those things. You need the digital assets, right? Because why? It's better than the 401k. It's better than an IRA. It's better than the stock market, right? Then you want another thing but it's different, right? You want something that you can add to the digital assets, right? And that's a sound saving instrument, right? So the risk is minimal. The concept is based upon saving and adding into it, right? Saving and taking advantage of it. Then you multiply it with a cash flow business where you can control the income. You have the say in growing that income, right? And then you put that into your thing. And it can lead to generational wealth. Generational wealth. And that's a cool deal. That is a really cool deal. I mean, think about that. I love that formula. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Speaking of dinner, I better get mine. Oh man, yeah, definitely do that, my friend. I know Miss Crypto Siege got something cooking. Got some great cuts of beef there. I'm really looking forward to that. Gaining interest on XRP and LMM on Celsius. GDLT, how about that? How about that? Right? And so GDLT is leveraging this platform, Celsius, which in our formula is a sound saving instrument, and he's earning interest on his assets. This is what the wealthy do. The wealthy leverage. They don't liquidate. If there's a principle that you want to learn and keep on your bedside and put up on above the mantle, and it's that. Wealthy people don't liquidate. Wealthy people leverage. So I always say when I'm training, leverage, don't liquidate. Leverage your assets, don't liquidate. Now, is that 100% set in stone? Is there sometimes? No, absolutely not. But as a principle, as a whole, leverage, don't liquidate. What's going on, XRP Carolina? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you on the stream tonight, man. How's life treating you, man? So, who let the bulls out? Had to go. Oh, dinner calls. Good night, Crypto Siege and everyone. Good night. Who let the bulls out? who let the bulls out, did the intro for the channel, getting ready to get that hooked up and put together. That's going to be really, he's all done. Just got to tie up a couple of things, and then, yeah, really excited about that. That's going to be a cool deal. GDLT, trusting Celsius more and more. And that's really the thing, right? Right? You weigh the pros and cons. You weigh the risk versus rewards. And then, right, then you test the platforms with small amounts. Like I did. I tested it with like 150, 200 bucks, real small. Test it out, put it on, take it off. I came up with reasons to contact support. Right? Because I want to see their response. I want to see their response, right? Are you not getting back to me, or are you getting back to me? And when you get back to me, how are you getting back to me? Are you kind and polite? I mean, all that stuff. That's for me, that's what I do. That's what for me, those are important things. It's my money, right? It's my money. So if I'm going to take my money and put it on your platform, then this is what I expect. Right? I expect to be able to put it on, take it off anytime I want. I expect some customer service, right? Those kind of things. So that's what I did. Yeah, when I say I literally had to come up with something, I had to come up with some things to test customer support. That's exactly what I did. I wanted to see tell me what's the response time like? What's the language like when we communicate? For me, these are important stuff. Because again, it's my money, right? I can go wherever I want to go with my money. Share with me your customer support service. Share with me, right? So, yeah, I mean, I love every Monday getting those weekly interests. I love it. And Cryptic Life, definitely, my friend. And let me give you a link, Cryptic Life to Celsius. But I would encourage you, before you do all things with Celsius, is watch yourself as many videos as you possibly can. Ask me anything, right? So AMAs with Alex Mashinsky. AMAs with Alex Mashinsky. Take your time, do your research, watch as many of those as you can. Now, Celsius Network has a YouTube channel, and that's cool. But what I did is when I went to YouTube and I just put that in the search, and I wanted to find other people interviewing Alex, not just the people from Celsius. So I did both. I watched a ton of videos with Alex being kind of answering questions from his team, that his team is selecting the questions out of the chats. But I also watched interviews from people where Alex was visiting somewhere else, right? And so it's not his team asking these questions. And that really, really helped for me. Now, I had been checking them out for over a year and a half, Celsius Network. Very, very hesitant. I was very hesitant because when I joined the digital asset space, I joined in the high yield investment platforms. Absolutely, Rod. You got it, brother. And that was, you talking about 6, 7, 8% a year. The high yield investment platform space, here it is, Rod, was 6% a day, 4% a day. So I was in some really, really risky stuff. So whenever I began to hear about Celsius and Salt and Len Connect and these different things, or ETH Connect, or something like that. I think it was Len Connect, ETH Connect. I was really, really cautious. So Nexo, BlockFi, all of those. So I really took about a year and a half just checking it out for myself. And then I ultimately decided that this Mashinsky dude is definitely out to benefit the average Joe and average Jane. He is not about trying to benefit. He's about benefiting the stakeholders and not the shareholders, if that makes sense. He's about the people who put their money on the platform. He's about the people who make the deposits on the platform, right? He doesn't like the banking system as a whole, because the banks make money for the people who own the stock in the bank. They don't make money for the people who put their deposits into the bank. So ETH Connect was a scam. So was Len Connect. Yeah. Maybe it was Len Connect was the other one. I know Salt came out early on, and then Len Connect. Eve Connect was one of those HYIPs, I believe, Debian too. TJ Jackson says, I put 5K XRP on Celsius. How about that? How about that, TJ Jackson? How about that? I love it. I love it. I started out small, but once I was comfortable with it, you know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about, you know, 40, 50, 60% of my XRP. No. Not talking that. Not talking that. You know, I'm talking in the 10 to 15% range, right? And hey, they got a actually, they're doing a venture capital round without the venture capitals. Did you guys know that? Rochelle Dara. Hey, Rochelle, how are you, miss? Good to see you on the stream. I don't think I've seen you here before. How are you doing tonight, miss? Good to see you. I'm glad you checked out the channel on Generational Wealth Wednesdays. We do this every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. We talk generational wealth strategies, and we talk and we learn together. We read books together on this channel. We talk about how to put together a wealth advisory team, what that looks like, the questions to ask. You know, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if 5K gets you that much XRP. It might. Let me see. Yeah, and that's why I started. I started out very, very small, very, very small. Like literally, I put USDC in there in the beginning, like 150, 200 bucks. Again, put it on, put it in, take it off, because there's no fees, right? Zero fees to deposit, zero fees to withdraw, zero fees if you do a collateral based loan, zero fees. So I don't know how much interest. Let me see something. Yeah. And I mean, the app is great. Every once in, a gazillion moons, the app will act up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess that's about right. Yeah, that's about right. And that, again, do your own homework for sure. Do your own homework, guys. Watch as many videos as, again, like I said, as you can. Carolina said, I'm scared. Yeah, so that's the thing, my friend. And it's a great point. It really is a great point. And the only reason why you're scared is because your level of knowledge about Celsius is not where it could be. So you would be less afraid, right? Like Robert Kiyosaki says, there's no such thing as bad investing. It's just bad investors, right? In other words, they haven't leveled up their knowledge enough to be comfortable in knowing what it is that they're doing. That's the difference, right? And I always say in this channel, XRP Carolina, I always say personally, I say, don't fall for the sleight of hand and the misdirection that is safe. And what I mean by that is the banks will tell you that it's safer to put your money in a bank. It's safe. The powers that be out there they're all touting the safety in the central banks, the safety, the familiarity, right? But what have they done for you and your money, right? And here's the thing, and I think about this a lot. Like wealthy people, they don't liquidate, they leverage, right? And the vast majority of people, not the vast majority, the biggest money on Celsius Network is from hedge funds and financial institutions, right? So they're putting big time money, collateralizing millions, right? It's the same platform. It's the same platform, collateralizing millions. I forget the number of loans that they've done on the platform. And again, total assets under management is 633 million. Net is the loan part on here? Huh. That type of deal. I don't see it, but I know they tell you how much loans they've done. I think it's 1.6 billion, close to 2 billion. I think it's 1.4, 1.6. But my point to it is that once you level up, right, your education about the platform, then you'll be less afraid. And certainly I'm not talking 40, 50, 60% of my, no. I would not do that unless it was poly-sign. Would I be at a 40, 50, or 60% of my digital asset XRP somewhere? But I'm good with 15%, right? I'm good with 10, 15%. That type of deal. Because again, it's our hard-earned money, right? I know GDLT, I've reached out to the marketing twice now and said, because I've asked them, like, how can I get an interview with Mashinsky? This type of thing. Where did that go? Yeah, and they say, send an email to this place here. I send an email. I never get a response back from the marketing people. So, and my guess is that's going to be like, I'm going to have to be the bulldog to get that interview, if you understand what I'm saying. So I can't put it on them, right? I'm going to have to be the person sending that email once a week or once every other or every other day. If you understand what I'm saying, guys, I don't put it on them. I put that on me, right? If I want that interview, then I got to be, right, the squeaky oil, that type of deal. The squeaky wheel gets the oil, that type of deal. That's what I have to be. That type of deal. Absolutely. And I'm doing both too, TJ Jackson. I also have a leveraged loan on there, and I also am earning interest on digital assets, like six to eight other digital assets that I'm earning interest on as well. But that's just me, guys. That's my sound saving instrument. Those are the two. It is dividend paying whole life insurance, and it is the Celsius network, without question. But my multipliers, that cash flow business guy, I discovered once again, look, as an employee, you pay the most taxes. I mean, that's the bottom line. As an employee, you pay the most taxes. You get about 8 write-offs as an employee. Yet they will give someone who runs a business from their home, a home-based business, 475 write-offs. Both of you and I were tax-paying Americans, right? But they're going to give the home-based business owner 475 write-offs. Not self-employed. Not self-employed, not brick and mortar, the home-based business owner. 475. The employee shows up to work every single day, shows up to work on time, puts in work. Everybody loves them. 8 write-offs. 8 write-offs. Now, that has got to make you think. Yeah, I've been thinking about on off the chain as well there, GDLT. I've been thinking about that as well. And it's really more so my part. It's really on me. I got to get better at that part of what I do here, right? That reminder to constantly reach out, because I'm sure that we could have each other on each other's channels. Absolutely. So think about that, right? And right, people can you can start a cash flow business for less than $150, less than $150, and now less than $150, and now you have a business that gives you 400 plus write-offs on your everyday, essentially what you do. I mean, the write-offs are just enormous. But my point to that is, why would they give the home-based business owner so many write-offs? Like, why would they do that if it wasn't important to have a cash flow business? TJ Jackson, you got a shirt business, bro? Do tell, man. Let me. Oh, you can't put a link here. I don't see it. But maybe if you comment the link, I'll see it after I get off the stream. Let me know, bro. Yeah. You got to think there is a reason to that. There's got to be a reason for those write-offs. And in the end, the most important, the ultimate first rule is you got to get your money back. You think about taxes and think about the point in time where we didn't have to pay taxes. And here's, I guess, my point. If you don't have to pay all those taxes, then why are you? If you don't have to pay all those taxes, then why are you? And if you want to for what? Rod, so do I take crypto for what? Oh, TJ. Okay. Yeah, I want a link so I can learn what's up with that. I didn't know he had a pressing business. But if you want to learn about a cash flow business, just type in cash or CFB in the comments, and we'll find a way to connect. Again, for less than $50, you can start a cash flow business, and you can home office, utilities, meals, travel, right? My mentor used to say to me, don't go on vacation, go on a workcation. Go on a workcation. Miles, automobiles, check with your tax attorneys, and all this different stuff that you're going to do anyway. Stuff that you're going to do anyway. Yeah, TJ, you can send it to cryptosiege@protonmail.com. Absolutely. But if anyone wants to learn more about how you could possibly set one up, just email me. We can chat a little bit, see if it's a bet for you. That's exactly what I'm saying, XRP Carolina. And it comes to, when everything's all said and done, about 150, might be 110, 120, something like that. But yeah, initially, yes, $50. And the deal is, ultimately, it's really kind of getting the foundational principle. But yeah, $50. And after everything's said, 110, 150, somewhere in that range. But think about that. You now have a business where you can make as much or little as you want. You can start in the write-off thing. I always tell people, look, you can start in the write-off thing. You can start there by getting your money back. You could start there. Look, if you want to grow it and turn it into a cash flow income, grow it and turn it into a cash flow income. But start Like start by getting your money back. You're not look, when you start your home-based business, you're not making up a rule of a home office write-off. You didn't make that up. You're not coming up with utilities of the home office based on square footage. You're not making that up. That's in the IRS rules. When you have a workcation, that travel, when you have a business lunch and or dinner, those meals, when you take your business car, those miles, you're not making that up. That's what they're saying you can do. That's what they're saying you can do. So the key is to learn the rules and then play the rule, right? Learn the rules and then play the game by the rules. That's the deal. That's the deal. Now let's, again, start there by getting your money back. I mean, in the end, trust me, as a guy who, I've helped tons and tons of people make tons and tons of money. I started as this single guy, right? And here I was making a ton of money, and it was just going. It was just, this is before my cash flow business days. It was just going. It was okay. Hey, see you later, Siege. Hey, see you later, Siege. I'm like, what in the world? And I kept thinking that I would make it up because, just got raises after raises after raises. They were just coming in. But, that inflation, it'll eat you up. That hidden tax of inflation will eat you up. So I had to discover a way to get that money back. And I discovered the cash flow business. once I got that, woo. And I remember telling my boys, I was telling my boys what was going on and what I was doing. And they were like, wow. Yeah. Because I discovered the rules. I discovered the game, and then I discovered the rules of the game. The IRS and the government came together and they decided that as an employee, you're going to get about 8 write-offs. And as a home-based business owner, you're going to get about 470. I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm in. Put me down for that one, that cash flow business. So, I mean, that's what it was for me. And it's funny because you got to learn it, right? Knowledge is power. Oh, Jason, what's up, Master Pietro? Good to see you, Jason, in the stream. He says, keep speaking, brother. I'm watching and I'm learning. And when everything clicks, let's chat. Knowledge is power. Absolutely. Absolutely, Jason. You bet, bro. Thanks for the final. Thanks for the final on Super Chat, brother. I appreciate that big time. And that's what Generational Wealth Wednesdays is about. And TJ Jackson will tell you, we started Generational Wednesdays with the theme, we're going to learn together. We're going to learn together. I'm not going to come try to be like the expert. Nope. We're going to learn together, right? We are going to learn it together. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that, my friend. And so, and that's the deal. And then, once I got that concept down and get my money back, I looked at it and said, okay, well, how much money can I make here? And oh, cool. Really? Okay. I can do that. Oh yeah, XRP Carolina. Absolutely. I'll look for that, my friend. I look for that. Because that's the, again, I always say, hey, I didn't make up the home office rule. I didn't make that up. I didn't make up the, mile write-off thing. I didn't make it up. It's there. I am going to honestly play the game by the rules. All right, guys, listen, it's been a cool hangout. It's been really, I love Generational Wealth Wednesday, XP Carolina. I really, really do. It's always a fun hangout. It's always great to learn together and share together. And yeah, actually, I'll look for you guys' emails without question, and we'll talk. Hey, it may be a good fit for you. It may not, but at least you'll know. At least you know. And trust me when I say the first thing I'm going to say to you is, you got to learn the game by the rules, right? You got to learn the rules and play the rules by the game. If that's where you got to start, that's where you're starting. One day you want to turn that into something that generates some big time cash flow. I can show you how to do that. Leo Brazil Crypto was here. What's up, Leo Brazil? Appreciate you checking in. Catch the replay, my friend. It was a good one tonight, without question. All right, guys, listen. I'm going to wrap up the stream like I do all my streams. Remind you guys of this, that old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it. XRP Caroline, thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man. It's a pleasure to hang out with you tonight, bro. It was a pleasure, without question. All right, guys, listen, have a great night, and I will talk to you guys soon.